Hello, Therapy Talkers. Welcome back. For our new subscribers, welcome to our channel. We talk all things mental health, travel, fitness, anything you can imagine. We cover it here. Our goal on this channel is to destigmatize mental health, but also promote it, because why not? Taking care of yourself is 100% the best thing you can do for yourself. So Tammy is our other favorite therapist on here today, and we're here just to provide information. So today's topic is about borderline personality disorder. So if you clicked on this link, if you're watching this video, you probably have heard of it and you're curious about it. Maybe you even think you may have this diagnosis. But before that, I want you to just take away all this preconceived notions that you may have and soak up this new information we have for you, okay? So while you're here, please hit like, hit subscribe, and share. Okay, I'm going to get right into it, and we're going to hear from our girl, Tammy. Why is it called borderline or a borderline personality disorder? Well, back in the day, doctors thought it was a diagnosis that was in between neuroses and psychoses. So borderline, that's what they went with. Clever, right? All right, so Tammy, what are we going to do today?
Well, we're going to get a definition of borderline, which Pauline just lovingly did that. We're going to share some facts and causes, criteria, and treatment. So let's get into it. What is borderline personality disorder? There are various types mentioned in the DSM, and that is the therapy Bible book that we use for diagnosing our clients. We're going to call borderline personality disorder from probably this moment on is BPD. So don't get confused by that. BPD is a pervasive pattern of instability of interpersonal relationships, self-image, and effects, and marked impulsively beginning by the early childhood and then present in a variety of different contexts. So here's an example to kind of give you an idea of what this could look like. So we have our gal Esther. Esther has an intense romantic relationship that does not last long. Her partner wants to end the relationship because he is exhausted by Esther's impulsive behavior, but Esther has threatened to hurt herself if her partner leaves. Aw.
Yeah, that sounds really
Esther.
tough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's get right into some facts. We love talking about facts on here. Thank you for that lovely example, Tammy.
Thanks.
And we will definitely break that example down a bit. Okay, so here are some facts. The prevalence of BPD may decrease in older age groups. It co-occurs with other personality disorders. 75% of females suffer from borderline personality disorder or BPD. The risk of suicide is the greatest in the young adult years. And so we we have content about suicide. And so click the link so you can learn more about it. So during the age in the age of like 30s to 40s, the majority of individuals with BPD attain greater stability in their relationships and vocational functioning, meaning that when they get older, they start getting better. Chances are they've been in therapy, they are seeking treatment, and they've learned about themselves and how to function in the world. So their friendships, their intimate relationships, partnerships, it's all getting better. They're able to maintain their jobs and things like that. That's what that's referring to. Here's something. In a follow-up study with individuals who received outpatient treatment, outpatient meaning you're not in a hospital, but you're more so in and out going home, so like therapy, 10 years later, about half no longer experience patterns related to BPD. So it's basically saying that treatment works, and after 10 years, they followed up with some of these people. They didn't really exhibit these symptoms or criteria, which Tammy will get into, of BPD. Now you may be wondering, what actually causes BPD? A number of things cause them, but the ones we're going to focus on today is it does run in families. So chances are, if you have someone in your family, let's say a mom has BPD, it's 5 times more likely that you're going to inherit this diagnosis. Now, a number of things would also happen in addition to this biological part of things. Another thing is abuse and trauma is related to a cause of this. So abuse could look like neglect, could look like separation from parents. So there's abandonment issues here. There's mistreatment. Trauma could also look like sexual abuse. It could be being, oh man, I'm losing my words, but let's say natural disasters, different things like that. Trauma comes in all different shapes and sizes. And so whatever that experience is for that person, that can be a cause of BPD. All right.
That's awesome. Thanks, Pauline.
Thank you.
That was really informative. So let's get into, again, the DSM, the book that therapists use, the DSM criteria to be diagnosed with this. We don't want you to run out to TikTok or Insta or Facebook and decide that you have BPD based on somebody else's post. We want you to be educated. That's what we're here for. So to be diagnosed with this, you have to meet 5 out of the 9 criteria. And what are those 9 criteria? We're going to get into that now. 1 is frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. 2, a pattern of unstable and intense interpersonal relationships characterized by alternating between extremes of idealization and devaluation. I'm stumbling on my words now, Pauline.
Oh no.
3, unstable self-image or sense of self. 4, impulsively by self-damaging behavior. That could be sex, could be spending money, could be self-injurious behavior, binge eating, recklessness. There's a whole list of it. We're just looking for some impulsivity. 5, recurrent suicidal behaviors, gestures, threats, and again, injuring yourself. And another side note is we're going to have an upcoming video on suicide, so please watch for that. 6, intense episodic dysphoria, irritability, or anxiety, typically lasting a few hours, but rarely more than just a few days. Number 7, moving right along, chronic feelings of emptiness. Number 8, inappropriate, intense anger or difficulty controlling anger. And 9, stress-related paranoid ideation or severe dissociative symptoms. And like I said, you have to meet 5 out of the 9 criteria that we just listed.
Thank you for emphasizing that, Tammy. Again, the goal of our channel is to really destigmatize mental health. And one thing that I do know for sure is that this type of diagnoses definitely carries a big stigma on it. And therefore, it's so important that you're not looking on the internet and saying, oh, yes, I do have this, when there's so much more involved. Like Tammy just read off 9, and no therapist is going to diagnose you if you only meet 1 out of the 9. You know, like, it's a conversation. Things have happened in life, and it requires that you discuss this with a professional, and not going on TikTok, Instagram, and places like that and deciding, oh, yes, I have this. Okay. So please, this is for educational purposes. We're not even doing diagnosing in here. We're just letting you know. Okay. Let me talk about treatment. So you've watched this far. Don't forget to hit like. That's the thumbs up. Treatment for BPD could be therapy, and there's various ways of treatment in therapy, but the most common ones you're going to hear about is DBT, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, which comes from cognitive behavior therapy, CBT. So more people are familiar with CBT, and so DBT has parts of CBT inclusive in it. Here, you're going to learn how to regulate your emotions and things like that. Like, because Tammy mentioned, there's going to be some mood swings that are like going on with this type of personality disorder. And so it's very important to learn how to regulate those emotions. Medications is another thing. Anger management is another thing. You can do support groups. You can do individual sessions in regards to that. Another thing is hospitalization. So earlier I mentioned outpatient, right? But hospitalization will be more like inpatient. That means you're having like an extended stay in a hospital because your symptoms are so severe. And some of these symptoms that I'm talking about is usually people who injure themselves. So they're cutting, they're intentionally like hurting themselves, which could lead to suicide. And so again, with this diagnosis, it's very prevalent for someone, usually young adults, to have suicidal thoughts or engage in risky behaviors that would require some hospitalization until you get to a place where you're stable, more safe to move about in life. Yeah, so that's what I have for treatment.
Pauline, it sounds like we educated everybody on borderline personality disorder, but I want to remind you guys, don't just guess if you have it. You need to seek out additional help. Go to a professional, get properly assessed and or diagnosed. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate each and every one of you. Come back later for more content, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.